Once upon a time, in a quiet little town surrounded by rolling hills and sleepy streets, there lived a girl named Kier, who carried the heaviest burden without even realizing it. The worst luck anyone could imagine. It wasn't the kind of bad luck you laugh off or blame on forgetting your umbrella. It was the kind that seemed woven into her very existence, following her like a gloomy rain cloud. One windy evening, as twilight painted the sky in soft oranges and purples, the leaves outside went absolutely wild, swirling and dancing through the air like mischievous little sprites. They piled into her tiny room, invading every corner, as if nature itself had declared war against her peace. Rushing to close the window, Care barely managed to brush her fingers against it, when slam it shut itself with a violent clap, the sudden gust toppling over her lamp, sending it crashing into a fragile vase, and starting the chain of disasters that seemed to define her life. Elsewhere in town, a young man had just finished a long, relaxing shower, humming a cheerful tune as he reached for the door, ready to face another day. But fate, with its cruel sense of humor, had different plans. As he twisted the handle, he found it jammed shut, blocked by a broom wedged at an impossible angle. Thinking quickly, and perhaps too optimistically, he grabbed the nearest thing, a tube of toothpaste, and tried to slide the broom loose. But reality hit hard when the door handle snapped clean off in his hand, scattering metal parts across the floor with a loud clatter, one of which landed with brutal precision on his bare foot. Hobbling in pain and muttering under his breath, he tried to pull on his socks, but even they betrayed him, twisting up and nearly sending him sprawling. Breakfast wasn't much kinder. When he tried to spread some jam on his toast, the entire glob of sticky sweetness launched across the kitchen and splattered magnificently against the wall, leaving a purple stain that would no doubt stay there forever, a permanent reminder of his misfortune. Hoping against hope to salvage his day, he grabbed his bicycle only to find the tires flatter than yesterday's soda. Still determined, he decided to push it toward work, but bad luck clung to him like static. As he passed by a rickety shelf outside a small shop, it groaned and collapsed right in front of him, scattering boxes everywhere. Bending down to help, he picked up one only to find it filled to the brim with tiny, angry-looking cacti, each one eager to stab his already wounded hands. Meanwhile, Kayla's day wasn't looking any brighter. Exhausted, defeated, and clinging to what little energy she had left, she collapsed onto a curb, unwrapped a sad-looking sandwich from crumpled foil, and stared blankly into the distance. Out of the corner of her eye, a tiny black kitten appeared, sleek and mysterious, with piercing green eyes that seemed to see right through her. Heart pounding with sudden hope, she tore her sandwich in half and offered it with trembling fingers. The kitten gave it a sniff, sneezed, and strutted away with an air of royal disdain, leaving Claire's heart heavier than before. Just as she stood up, brushing crumbs from her lap, a glint of silver caught her eye. There, half buried in the dust, was a coin, small, shiny, and marked with the unmistakable image of a four-leaf clover. She picked it up carefully, feeling a strange warmth pulse through her fingers. Tucking it into her pocket like the most precious treasure in the world, she whispered a silent wish to the stars that maybe, just maybe, tomorrow would be different. And somehow, miraculously, the next morning, as golden sunlight streamed through her window, Kier woke to a world subtly, beautifully changed. The leaves tried to invade her room again, but the window, as if enchanted, snapped shut on its own. Her socks slid onto her feet like they had been waiting for her. Her toaster didn't catch fire. It popped up two perfectly golden slices, and when she spread jam, it landed gracefully on her toast, without so much as a splatter. Testing her luck, she dropped a plate. It floated down like a feather and landed back on the counter without a single crack. The streets on her way to work were free of falling shelves and rogue cacti. For once the universe wasn't trying to trip her. She could feel it in her bones. She was finally lucky. Her steps were lighter, her heart buoyant. Even the sun seemed to wink at her. But happiness, as Ketu would soon learn, was a delicate thing. Later that day, disaster struck again. In a moment of carelessness, the precious coin slipped from her fingers and tumbled, horror of horrors, straight into the toilet. Panic surged through her. She scrambled onto a child's toilet seat, leaning dangerously over the bowl, stretching for the coin. Just as her fingers brushed the edge, a single bead of sweat betrayed her, triggering the automatic sensor with a mocking beep. The water whooshed, swallowing the coin and her newfound luck along with it. Crushed beyond words, Care stumbled outside, staring up at the uncaring sky as if hoping for a miracle. And then, like an answer to her unspoken prayer, the black kitten appeared once more, tail flicking, eyes sharp. Desperation overcame her pride, and she begged, voice cracking, "Please, please give me another coin." To her utter disbelief, the kitten, Xiaohei, opened his mouth and scolded her with all the fury of a betrayed wizard. Not only could he talk, but he wore a necklace around his neck, bearing the same four-leaf clover symbol as the lost coin. Xiaohei wasn't just a stray, he was a guardian of luck itself. Furious that she had flushed away such a rare treasure, Xiaohei turned and bolted, and Kea, heart pounding with panic and guilt, chased after him through the winding streets. It wasn't a graceful pursuit. While Xiaohei danced across rooftops, umbrellas, and even a moving bus, Kea stumbled, tripped, crashed into lampposts, and managed to get tangled in three separate laundry lines. Yet she refused to give up. Finally, breathless and battered, she cornered Xiaohei on a high platform. Without hesitation, he leapt down onto a blanket fluttering from a balcony, landing with the effortless grace of a seasoned ninja. Kira, determined but less coordinated, launched herself after him, and the wind, ever her enemy, caught the blanket and tossed her like a rag doll straight into a conveniently placed trash bin. Groaning, covered in banana peels and who knows what else, she peeked out just in time to see Xiaohei typing furiously on a glowing floating keyboard. A swirling green portal opened beneath him, humming with otherworldly energy. Without a second thought, Kira sprinted and dove through just before it closed. She landed with a thud on soft grass that smelled faintly of clover and magic. Blinking, she realized she had arrived in a world beyond imagination, the kingdom of luck. Everywhere she looked, golden fields shimmered under a cotton candy sky. Sparkling bridges arched between floating islands. Spirits in flowing robes bustled about, carrying baskets of glowing coins and trailing streams of light behind them. Shahi tried to slam a heavy door to block her entry, but Kolde, fueled by stubbornness and awe, barreled through, drawing curious glances from passing spirits. Ducking behind a massive clover bush, she listened intently as two spirits floated by, discussing their duties, manufacturing good luck, distributing it carefully, and maintaining balance with the land of bad luck across the horizon. For the first time, Kara understood that her endless misfortunes hadn't been random cruelty. She had been chosen, furious, desperate, but still hopeful. Kier demanded another coin. Shahi refused, knowing the rules, but Kier wouldn't be denied, threatening to stay forever if necessary. She forced his hand. Reluctantly, Shahi disguised her as a spirit, dressing her in a ridiculous green uniform, complete with jingling bells, and together they sneaked into the Lucky Coin Factory. Inside, everything ran like clockwork. Stools spun gently, as spirits caught falling coins with practiced ease. But Kay's curse struck again. She missed her coin. Her stool spun uncontrollably, and chaos erupted. Coins flew like popcorn, alarms blared, and the spirit boss stormed in. Their plan ruined, they scrambled for a new one, stealing a rabbit-shaped drone that could locate lost coins in the human world. But to power it, they needed a crystal from the development department, where all new luck was born. Dodging guards and ducking under conveyor belts, they made their way in. A dragon, huge, golden, and majestic, sniffed around, searching for any sign of bad luck. Kier held her breath, When they finally grabbed the crystal, her clumsiness sent it flying like a deadly comet. But Xiao Hei, moving like lightning, saved it just in time. With the drone launched, they guided it carefully toward the missing coin, nerves fraying with every second. Just as it secured the coin, alarms shrieked again. Xiao Hei's unauthorized mission was discovered, and a bounty was placed on his furry little head. If they failed, he would be exiled to the land of bad luck forever. Here, thinking fast for once, decided they should simply ask. With trembling hands, she approached Long Ma, the dragon boss, and poured out her heart, all her misfortunes, her loneliness, her dreams of just one lucky day. Moved by her sincerity, Long Ma granted her a second coin. Racing back, Kier reached Zhao Hei just as he was about to be dragged away. Without hesitation, she tossed him the coin, saving him in the nick of time. But temptation gnawed at her soul. What if she could make all bad luck disappear? Slipping into the control room, she pulled the lever that deactivated the bad luck distribution machine. Instantly, the world bathed in pure good fortune. Flowers bloomed, rainbows arched across the skies. Laughter echoed down every street. Yet it didn't last. The balance shattered. Machines sparked and broke. Dark clouds rolled in. Kea was sucked into the land of bad luck, where clumsy but endearing creatures stumbled through their broken world. Here, Brother Life explained the truth. Without struggle, joy means nothing. Without sorrow, happiness fades. Realizing her selfish mistake, Kea returned to the kingdom of luck and restored the bad luck crystal, repairing the fragile balance of the world. Back in the human world, life resumed its normal rhythm. Her toast still burned, umbrellas still flipped inside out, socks still betrayed her, but Kia smiled through it all, stronger, wiser, and full of hope. Because life wasn't about living without bad luck. It was about dancing with it, growing through it, and knowing that every stumble made the journey even sweeter. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more magical movie adventures.